All right, everyone, let's bring all the fun and festivities to an end. We have a very serious meeting to have now. Will you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we do the roll call? Here.
Commissioner Ambler,
Here.
Commissioner Joswiak,
Here.
Commissioner Lack,
Here.
Commissioner Munt,
Here.
Commissioner Vasquez.
Here.
Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes, and were there any corrections or statements about it? Oh, there are some. Okay.
Under real estate matters, it shows that Commissioner Vasquez made a motion.
If you could push the button.
Under Burns Parkway Bridge property acquisition, it shows that Commissioner Vasquez made a motion, and that is incorrect. I believe, I'll double check on who that was,
Sure.
but it was not Commissioner Vasquez.
Is everybody comfortable maybe if somebody motioned to pass the minutes but with that correction? Or?
Motion to approve with correction.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I don't know if we've ever had a mistake in the history of the Redevelopment Commission minutes, so I mean, it's all new to me, you know? Oh yeah, we're just texting you. Have you heard from him? Thank goodness there wasn't like a legal opinion needed in the last 10 seconds.
Something might pop up, so I will call him.
A attorney. An attorney is there.
As the call's going on, does anybody have any questions about the claims as you're seeing them? We didn't buy another horse, right? Okay, good.
No.
Attorney McClure will be here in about 5 minutes.
Or you can finish before he gets here.
Motion to approve claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Then we'll start up with the staff reports. That might buy us some time until the attorney gets here. Mr. Bowditch, would you mind giving us an update on Kayak Point?
So on Kayak Point, the Redevelopment Commission did take the action at its last meeting for the amending declaratory resolution to prune the Southport allocation area and then to designate the Kayak Point A allocation area. That resolution has been forwarded to the Portage Plan Commission by statute. It is and will be on the Plan Commission's April 6th meeting agenda for their consideration as in compliance with the land use plans for the city, which it is already in compliance. This is more of a financing administrative issue than a land use planning issue. The next step is for the Plan Commission to send it, assuming approval, send it to the city's Common Council. That will be done on the subsequent Tuesday, April 7th. And then, so because by statute, the Common Council is required to approve the Plan Commission's action. Upon that being completed, below, what we'd be asking is that the commission schedule a public hearing for its April meeting on that amending declaratory resolution, which I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sonia, is April 23rd. That would be the next meeting. There will be other public hearings for that afternoon, afternoon meeting also. So I will get the necessary documents once the Common Council takes action. I will get the necessary tax impact document, the Neighborhood Association notifications, the notification to the property owner, as well as the notice of a public hearing to Sonia. We'll get that published 10 days or more in advance so that we can, and notify all the overlapping taxing units by certified mail. So we'll get that ready for the public hearing. So that is moving forward. They're interested in having the process complete. Once the amending declaratory resolution is confirmed, the bonding process begins, and they're looking to close sometime in May, if not early June, so that the project can initiate construction.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
Not hearing any. Would you mind giving us an update on the residential housing development program?
The residential housing development programs for the 5 RHDPs is progressing. We have, in working with Buzz Crone and Associates as the municipal financial advisor and Tom Pittman as bond counsel from Barnes and Thornburg, we've been in communication and contacting through virtual meetings each one of the developers. We had 2 meetings this morning. Tomorrow is a 3rd meeting with the developer who is doing 3 of the residential housing development programs. So that will complete all 5. The purpose of the meetings were to finalize the amortization schedules and the work that the municipal financial advisor does to basically ensure that we all have an understanding of what the intended financial incentive is, what the tax increment revenue impact fee is going to be, what it is, and when it's going to be paid, as well as the project itself, and any documents that are outstanding for bonds to be issued. We have been in contact with U.S. Bank as to be the underwriter, I keep saying underwriter, for U.S. Bank to be the trustee, corporate trustee for each of the bonds. They've agreed. Once we have the bond documents in place and the trust indenture, they will be brought on, and we'll have an agreement from them at the April meeting. So far, the 2 meetings we've held, the bonds are looking to be issued sometime at the end of April, beginning of May. So we're looking good on those to get those all completed. Tom Pittman has prepared all the draft documents for the bonds. The only document that is still outstanding is the economic development agreement between the developers and the Redevelopment Commission, the city at this time. So we're moving forward, Mayor.
I have a quick question. Is U.S. Bank not underwriting? What is the word?
No, they're not underwriting. They act as a trustee. So in
But
general.
for all 5?
For all 5. In fact, if possible, they'll be doing the bonds for Kayak Point also.
Thank you.
Basically what happens, so that the commissioners know, when the bonds are closed and the bond owner purchases the bond, those funds are wired to the trustee, and the trustee holds them as an independent financial fiduciary who then places the funds in the correct sub-fund or department. So they'll have a project fund, they'll have a cost of issuance fund, they'll have a debt service fund, and they keep all that, a debt service reserve fund. They keep all that financial information, and then when the debt service is due, the Redevelopment Commission, through the clerk treasurer, wires it to the trustee then wires it to, it's an intermediary that's required for fiduciary responsibilities.
Thank you for the clarification.
You don't always have to do that, though. You could have a paying agent, and then the clerk treasurer can be the paying agent, but it creates issues sometimes, not with the city of Portage per se, but, you know, for the little amount of money, $2,500 a year, it's worth it. I apologize for going on, but it is good to understand how a trustee fits into the whole process.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they also provide reporting at the end of the year. So,
Any other questions? So we'll talk about the fiscal report, project velocity site selection introduction. Is that related
this
to
is just
Project
very
Runway, or-
quickly, through the Portage Economic Development Corporation and the city's redevelopment department, we received a request from the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. There is a project known as Project Velocity. Now, typically, when we receive these, the IEDC will identify communities that are ripe and sustainable for the type of development that the developers or the company is looking for, as far as acreage available, locational considerations, employment, skill set, and Portage meets all the criteria that they're looking for, and they're asking for a response to their request for proposals. That proposal includes information on the company itself as far, and it's all generalized, but how much investment they're making in real property improvements, depreciable personal property, as well as the employment that they're looking to bring into the community. And they're looking for responses of what's a potential financial incentive package, what grants are available, do you provide for variances? So between Andy Miletta and I, we're going to be responding to that project for the IEDC on behalf of Project Velocity. I just wanted to introduce that to you, so if it ever comes up, you've heard it first. We don't know. I mean, I do have the RFP that they submitted, but it's a manufacturing industrial project. Yes, I guess that answers your question.
Do they make like boomerangs or something that goes really fast?
So to be honest with you, whenever the IEDC or myself names a project, it's just by random name, so it can never be really coordinated with any type of, it could be anything. I've named them after dogs, places, vacation areas, languages. It just, you have to keep them unidentifiable.
So basically, Dan, they're just trying to see what's available here in Portage.
So these will all go back to the site selector, and then the site selector chooses those that best fit the criteria that the business is looking for to locate. And then once they whittle those down and vet them out, they will then ask for more information and maybe even have a site visit to the community.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the potential for additional businesses and companies to come in, would you say is very positive?
Yes.
Using this process?
Yes. The Portage Economic Development Corporation receives inquiries on a regular basis. Now, applying Pareto's rule of 80-20, 80% of those requests are for smaller businesses, restaurants, office space. This fits into that 20% where it's a large project. Usually when they come from the IDC, they're very large projects and very large investments.
Do we have any idea of if this has anything to do with us taking a trip to the IEDC last week? I know I went with Tom and Mr. Bartnicki and Mr. Miletta. We don't know. It could just be a
I
coincidence.
don't know. It is not uncommon for the IEDC to send out these types of site selection requests. So it could just be a coincidence that happened. And it would come from staff.
It would have been cool, Tom, if like right after our meeting we left, they were like, oh yeah, they're Portage. Let's get them on the list. Yeah.
Now, it might be. I can't say that there is no, coincidence, but it could be that your visit did have an impact.
Any other questions about Project Velocity, the flying saucer company, or or whatever it turns out to be? I'm sure it'll be great. All right, I think we're good then to move on to the discussion of the fiscal report for 2025.
So I will be annually due by April 1st by statute. The Redevelopment Commission's financial advisor, the clerk treasurer in this case by statute, is required to prepare a financial report for the year ending December 31st, 2025. Carl Sender of Sender and Dalton Associates is the municipal financial advisor to the redevelopment department and the commission. I'm sure that they're already have already initiated the preparation of this report, which they normally start March 1st, having done these reports before. So I'll reach out to Carl, and I'm sure Sonia's been in communication and providing information, which will dovetail into 6.5, which is so the difference between the annual report and the fiscal report. I always consolidated them when I prepared them. The annual report is due on April 15th. It includes additional information above and beyond the financial information of the commission. It includes basically what I call the Bible of last year's events. Who was on the board, who was the appointing authority, what was your appointing period, how many times, how many meetings did you hold, what dates were they held, were there special meetings, when did you have executive sessions, what resolutions did you pass, what were the titles of the resolutions. In addition, you have to provide information on the allocation areas, maps of the allocation areas, if you have multiple, as well as all the individual components in each allocation area to show its gross AV, current AV, captured AV, and we go through all that. So again, Sender and Dalton Associates will be preparing that report, and I'm sure, again, they've been in contact with Sonia to access any information. Typically, they call me if they need any additional information and review it with me before it's submitted. That is due on the 15th. Normally, what we do is the fiscal report, which is due to the executive, also being the mayor. And it's also, I also have that sent to the common council members, just as a means of transparency. That will be sent by April 1st to the individual entities. And then it could be approved they can formally be approved and accepted, approved or I would say accepted, we have legal counsel here, accepted at the April 23rd meeting as the financial report. And then it's uploaded to of course, the website for the Redevelopment Commission. But I wanted to let the commissioners know that those are in the process of being prepared to meet statutory requirements.
Awesome. And then discussion on the capture notice to be prepared for June 15th.
Yes, so another statutory requirement is annually, the Redevelopment Commission prepares a capture notice to the Porter County Auditor. It is due by the 15th, actually it's due before the 15th of June. Our intent is to have those before you at your May meeting. Generally, what the capture notice states is that the Redevelopment Commission intends to capture 100% of the incremental assessed value for generation and calculation of tax increment revenue for the purpose of paying bonds, debt, any debt and principal and interest on any bonds, obligations, leases, or capital projects that have been planned. So we'll prepare those. At that point in time, we're going to wait until May meeting to do those. Only because by then we'll have the Southport allocation area, we'll have the Kayak Point A allocation area, and of course we're going to have to identify the allocation areas for the residential housing development programs. So by then all those allocation areas will be confirmed and all set. So we'll wait until those are done, and then it won't confuse the auditor's office. Although they've been notified already of those designations. Again, it's a matter of notifying the commissioners that will be prepared. Typically, those are done by Sender Dalton also, and I go through and review the letter.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Unless there's any other questions, we can go on to new business. We have the consideration for access agreement. Mr. Cherry?
Is this what you need? No. Okay.
So last year, Marina Shores started a dredging project. What they did was dredge the marina and the entrance to the marina and put the sand from that dredging process onto the parcel just south of the marina. Then we bought that property south of the marina. So now we own it. They're going to continue that dredging this year, this spring. One of our concerns, or one thing we did do when we purchased that property was test that sand to make sure it wasn't contaminated and it was clean fill. So that process is going to continue this spring, providing you approve their temporary access agreement. And I've got that from both contractors that'll be handling that, as well as their insurance form. So I'm asking that, and by the way, the agreement is something that Attorney McClure put together. So I'm asking for approval for a temporary access agreement for JF Brennan Company and also JDG Construction Services.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That'll get us to the consideration of professional services agreement with Whiteman.
This is a standard professional service agreement. Their Whiteman Group is handling our comprehensive master plan for this year that we've already started, and standard agreement. I do not believe Attorney McClure's reviewed this, so I would ask for or recommend approval contingent upon Attorney McClure's approval.
And this is for the work on the comprehensive plan
Comprehensive
for the
plan?
city, starting up
Correct.
this year.
Yes.
And
Mr. Bowditch?
Mayor, we did have a conversation and discussion at a previous meeting that the Redevelopment Commission's interest in the comprehensive plan is that a large portion of the city is, a majority portion of the city is located in the Southport allocation area and major corridors, being Willow Creek 6 and the north side of the city up by Hillcrest. So it is beneficial to the Redevelopment Commission to play a major role in the redevelopment and the planning process. Because when we prepare redevelopment plans and we are working with targeted companies, we need to ensure that they are consistent with the official plans. That's why it goes to the Plan Commission. But also because we want to make sure that our goals and objectives are consistent with the comprehensive plans.
Motion to approve upon attorney review?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then that'll get us to request for 2 appraisals. Lot 4, the
Need up?
Arbors.
Which one do you need up?
Mayor, in your packets, there's supporting the city's need to extend Veterans Parkway to the west and correct some drainage issues. Request is a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the 2 appraisal engagement letters with an expenditure of $2,400 subject to legal review. And then the second motion would be to authorize the mayor to negotiate and sign an offer for the property based on the appraisal reports, subject to legal review.
I'd be happy to give you a little background on the.
Say, maybe if you could explain that
on
so
what
we're
we're
not
talking
whispering up
about.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dan has put up on the screen a drawing of a proposed road extension of what we call Veterans Avenue. On the left side of the screen would be is Scottsdale Street, and on the right side, this goes east through what we call the Arbors development, where the medical offices are, and there's got another, maybe go to the aerial. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, zoom in on that a little bit. So, anyway, Veterans Avenue stops right now at Scottsdale Street, and the proposal is to eventually extend Veterans Avenue, continue Veterans Avenue all the way through the Arbors property, continuing through the property where the Kohl's store is, to Airport Road. The developer of the property where the Kohl's is moving forward with developing their property. If you go to, nope. Yeah, go to BJ's, yeah. You got one more choice. There it is. So this is a proposed extension of Veterans Avenue on the property to the east of what we're talking about. So this is extending basically in front of the Kohl's property. And the Plan Commission has approved very recently the new store that you see there called BJ's. The proposal is for the developer to extend Veterans Avenue to the east property line of Arbors Boulevard. The key to the whole thing is drainage. Right now, the developer of this property, to do what they need to do, would basically be filling up perfectly good development land with detention, stormwater detention. So we could take our plan to extend Veterans Avenue through the Arbors property and combine it and accomplish a couple things. Eventually extend Veterans Avenue, but more important, provide a means to drain this entire property that you see that the Simon people are working on. So in order to do that, the developer has offered to pay to build the storm sewer through the Arbors property under the future Veterans Avenue. In order for that to happen, we need to acquire one piece of property. If you go back to, maybe the aerial's better. Yeah, zoom in. So one piece of property on the west side of Arbor Boulevard. It is outlined. It's actually outlined right there, kind of the top northeast corner. So anyway, it's right there. We already own, we, the city, already control property to the west of the Arbor development, and there's a right-of-way on the connecting Arbors Boulevard to the developer's property. So the goal is to acquire that property, that rectangle right there, which would allow the developer to build the storm sewer using his funds and I think some TIF money too. They will put the storm sewer in after we've acquired this, and the real goal is for this property to also provide regional stormwater detention. So we accomplish a lot of things rather than each individual development property having to have its own little detention pond. The goal is to acquire this property, which will allow the storm sewer to be extended, to eventually build Veterans Avenue, and to provide regional stormwater detention for basically as much of the area as possible, which then creates value for the city, creates value for the developer, and allows for a very efficient use of that property around the Kohl's and the proposed BJ's.
Is the big white building, is that Kohl's? I'm trying to picture where this is.
No, zoom out. Zoom out. The Realtor has told us that not to make that public at this time, because the goal right now is just to do the appraisals and authorize the mayor to sign the appraisal agreements. The appraisals will be done, and eventually an offer will be made to purchase. It's a 2.5 acre parcel of property. It's the last piece, it's the linchpin to make this whole thing work.
In addition to what was been presented, the extension of Veterans Parkway is in the comprehensive plan. So it is intended to make that connection from basically Airport Road all the way over to Willow Creek. And this finished, I believe there's no other area
Yeah,
left
that's-
that's missing. This is the-
That's the missing link right there. The developer is going to extend Veterans on his property, and he's agreed to extend the storm sewer all the way through the property that we're talking about. And then eventually, we can figure out how to actually build the road over the top of that. And then you'll be able to drive basically from Willow Creek Road to Airport Road on Veterans Avenue.
Now, does that have a significant, I'm sure everything or anything helps, but the traffic impact of having another thoroughfare to go from Willow Creek to Airport, I'm sure there'll still be plenty of people using Route 6, but do we have kind of an idea of a traffic impact of whether that offsets or eases, some traffic?
Well, it'd certainly be helpful for that, especially, actually, for local people, if you think about it. The locals, people like us, will be using Veterans Avenue, just as we're using that new extension of Augusta that goes up to Loop Road. So, yeah, it'll be a very favorable for the locals, for us to get around rather than have to go up there on Highway 6, which of course is a thoroughfare to get people through town.
I believe that will also help the traffic on 700 North, like from Swanson to Willow Creek and, all the way down to Airport.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
Just another way to get across.
Right. And it'll eliminate bottlenecks that may happen, that are currently happening along Veterans Parkway, because if you look to the east of BJ's, where I'm highlighting now, where it's highlighted here, the Redevelopment Commission recently purchased that property so that there's an ancillary access, secondary access off of 6 into the BJ's warehouse. So that'll add another access point to 6, so that traffic can use Veterans Parkway more efficiently. So from a planning perspective, if you're internal using the commercial uses along 6 that are behind the frontage, you can stay on that road as opposed to going to 6 to enter again, which is going to relieve traffic on 6.
I do that a lot. The access road behind, like Texas Roadhouse, through,
Right.
This project actually was anticipated, actually back when Coles was initially developed. The thinking that we just described actually was moving along at that point. And so now now that we have a developer moving forward, this is the appropriate time to move forward with that big plan.
Did I hear you say that the developer would fund the entire cost, or did I hear you say that there was another funding source?
The developer has agreed to pay for the storm sewer that would serve his property and continue all the way through this portion that we're talking about, to connect into our system. Now, we are also talking about a regional detention facility, so there could be, or the city could decide to participate in that in some way. We don't have that completely defined this time. We
Right
will
now,
do-
this is the appraisals to know what the cost would be for us to pursue the
exactly
land.
right.
So and I think it's really good for transparency and for everything, we're talking about the whole, like overall, where we hope it to go, but the vote at the moment is really just, can we figure out the appraisals so that we can negotiate for the land? That was stated, I think, in the request, or not to exceed $2,400.
So the first motion is approval for the two appraisals not to exceed $2,400. That's my motion.
Second.
That matches the request. We have a motion, a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the two appraisal engagement letters with an expenditure of $2,400, subject to legal review.
Second.
What was the second one? What was the second?
Is to authorize the mayor
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That gets us
you,
to
Dan.
consideration for professional services agreement with Abmarsh.
This is a standard professional service agreement with Abamarsh. They will provide us tasks for any work that we need done from them for you all to approve before they do start the work. So what you have in front of you, it doesn't have a dollar amount. It's pretty generic, but it's the same thing that our Board of Works approved.
Is this, I thought I saw something for like 22,000. Is that this?
No,
Oh.
no.
This is just to have them handy, so to speak.
So it's like a retainer?
Yeah, just to be under contract with them, have this commission under contract with them for any of our needs.
I think an easy way to understand it would be, think of it as an as-needed contract.
There you go.
It's done, and if they need, they can go without having to come back and get the contract. So we're ready to go for those things.
Kind of like we can call Scott anytime we need him, like we don't have to sign a new contract for every, every meeting that we have or every project that we have.
Yeah, and the terms are known and the costs are
Right.
known, and probably a very good tool.
Motion to approve the professional services contract.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thanks.
Thank you. That gets us to consideration of scheduling the public hearing for April 23rd, Commission amending the declaratory resolution number 2025-18, designating the Simon Southeast allocation area. Mr. Bowditch, do you just need us to vote on that, or is that a scheduling?
No,
matter?
it's more notification and for Sonia's purposes to know that for April 23rd, there will be a scheduled public hearing. This is what I brought up earlier for the Simon Southeast. Subsequently, and not to move ahead, Mayor, the same consideration for Simon Southwest allocation area, as well as a public hearing on Kayak Point A allocation area. To be transparent, as well as have it known to the community that the public hearing will be scheduled for the 23rd.
You want a motion on each one of those, or are you gonna joint one, just saying that those?
You
are-
could if you, I mean, it's at your discretion, but. So I will ask the commissioners to entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing for April 23rd to consider an amending declaratory resolution number 2025-18 that designated the Simon Southeast allocation area.
So moved.
If you wanna put it in the motion, you can go ahead and just read them all. They can all be done in one
Okay.
motion.
I will include in that motion the April 23rd scheduling of a public hearing for the Simon Southwest allocation area as amending declaratory resolution number 2025-19, as well as consideration for the scheduling of a public hearing on the April 23rd for commission amending declaratory resolution number 2026-01, designating the Kayak Point A allocation area.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. And then the budget presentation. Dan, I was going to ask if would it be appropriate to maybe table that for the upcoming meeting?
That's fine. And if necessary, or if board members want to, if it's at your pleasure, considering this meeting is a week in advance of our normal regular meeting, I can make myself available next Thursday on that date. Today's the 19th, so it'll be the 26th, I believe. My dirty Catholic school math, as the mayor would say. The 26th, I can make myself available to sit with any of the commissioners to go through the information.
Motion to table the budget presentation?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then we have a consideration, the Davy Resource Group Professional Service Agreement Proposal.
This is an annual contract that the commission enters into for invasive species control and reporting and monitoring. We've had this group, Davies Resource Group, performing the services for, I believe, the past 2 or 3 years. Their total for the contract is $22,500, I believe. Last year, they charged $27,000. So I believe that the invasive species are becoming a little more under control, that they aren't having to go out there and treat as much. So their work has been proving to be beneficial.
Sandy, where specifically is this service being performed? What parts of the city?
So this was an ecological restoration area that we received a grant from, and it is the area north of the open-air pavilion, the grassy area to the west of the open-air pavilion, and the bank to the east of it going into the waterway. And then there is also another area that is south of the waterway but north of Burns Parkway. If you recall where the yacht club used to be, Portage Yacht Club, it's in that vicinity.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else before we adjourn? Oh, Tom, you're walking up.
I'm always that,
Yeah.
I'm always that guy for anything else type stuff. Well, this one, this is for, so we purchased a property just north of the Elite Soccer Complex. And in September, the Elite Soccer Complex is having a big tournament. And they would like to utilize our property just north of them for any overflow parking. So I just have a hold harmless agreement that Scott McClure has reviewed, and would just like a approval for this use for 3 days.
It's a mutual indemnification and a release.
Similar to what we do with Rocks Fest and the other concerts, so. Yes, ma'am.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else to come before the board, or is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.